Hello, everyone, and welcome to this year's Zoom Developer Summit 2026. We are so thrilled to have you join us today. My name is Amanda Yu, and I am a product marketer here at Zoom. As you just saw, this year's theme is Intelligence in Motion Beyond the Meeting. And that's exactly what today is about. Pushing the boundaries of what's possible on the Zoom developer platform and exploring how AI is transforming the way we build, connect, and create. We have an incredible lineup ahead for you today, from deep technical sessions to live demos and conversations with some of the most innovative builders on our ecosystem. Whether you're here to level up your skills, discover what's new on the platform, or find inspiration for your next big idea, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, since many of the topics we'll be covering today may be forward-looking or conceptual in nature, please take a moment to review the safe harbor statement. And now to kick things off, I'm excited to hand it over to our Chief Ecosystem Officer, Brendan Ittelson.
Welcome everyone to this year's Zoom Developer Summit. I'm Brendan Ittelson and I lead our developer ecosystem at Zoom, and it's genuinely great to see this community together again. Every year, this event gets bigger, and it's because of what you're building. The creativity, experimentation, the way you push the boundaries of what's possible on this platform, that's what drives this ecosystem forward. Now, before we dive into what's new, I wanted to ground us in a way of thinking about Zoom that's guided everything we've built this year. We think of the Zoom developer ecosystem as a city. And I don't mean that as a metaphor we throw around lightly. I mean it structurally. In a city, buildings connect through shared infrastructure, road, utilities, communication lines, all flowing between them. Each building has its own purpose, but they all benefit from being part of something larger. And what's different now is that intelligence isn't sitting in one building anymore. It's moving across the city, between your app and ours, between your users and our platform, between surfaces that used to be disconnected. That's what we mean by this year's summit theme, Intelligence in Motion Beyond the Meeting. Zoom is no longer just a place where people meet. It's the foundation where intelligence experiences get built, and those experiences live everywhere your users already are. Now, there are 5 ways to build with Zoom, or rather 5 entry points into the city. You can access information by tapping into real-time data flows out of Zoom via APIs and webhooks. You can also embed Zoom inside your product. Our video, our AI, our real-time capabilities shown in your experience. You can show up inside Zoom, your app, your workflow, your intelligence surfaces directly in the Zoom client, and hundreds of millions of users can see. Now you can bridge your stack, connecting your tools, data, and workflows into Zoom's collaboration surfaces, or you can build on our foundation. Our infrastructure powers your product behind the scenes, your brand, your experience with our engine underneath. There are many ways that you can participate in the ecosystem, but what does this mean for you as a developer? This year, we're focused on 3 pillars to make those opportunities easier to capture. First, our core technology, our platform powering your product, your brand, your experience with our engine underneath. Interfaces, the APIs and SDKs to build exactly what you need, and distribution, your app inside the tools people use every day. So let's get started with that first pillar of core technology. Core technology is where Zoom's infrastructure becomes your infrastructure. It's about giving you access to the same engines that power our own products, so you can build intelligent experiences on top of it. Now, at the heart of this pillar is Zoom AI Services, our enterprise-grade suite of AI APIs for speech, language, and vision processing. These are the same models that power Zoom's AI infrastructure, such as transcription and meeting summaries, now available as APIs for your product. You can process non-Zoom media workloads, call recordings, audio files, video archives, and transform them into actionable intelligence. You can transcribe, summarize, and translate content at scale using production-ready APIs proven across millions of meetings every day. And you don't need to build an AI stack from scratch. You don't need to stitch together 5 vendors and hope they play nice. You can use Zoom to handle the heavy lifting and focus on building the experience that only you can build. That's the power of core technology. Our engine, your product. Now let's move into that second pillar, interface. Interface is all about giving you the building blocks, the APIs, SDKs, and frameworks that let you create exactly what your users need. We've made big investments here this year, from AI native development tools to new SDKs that connect Zoom to devices and agents in entirely new ways. So let's start with MCP servers. If you've been following the rise of AI agents like Claude and Cursor, you know they're only as powerful as the systems that they can talk to. MCP servers are the answer to that challenge. They provide a unified framework that connects the Zoom lifecycle, meetings, chat, phone, docs, tasks, to the AI tools your team already use. Unlock capabilities that traditional APIs weren't designed for: agentic access, multi-step tool use, context-aware permissions. But there's more. Next up, we have the Zoom CLI Kit. For builders who live in their terminal, the CLI Kit is a single cross-platform binary that gives you and your AI agents a scriptable way to interact with Zoom's REST APIs without needing a browser or desktop app. It's agent first, designed to be invoked by AI agents with structured JSON IO, generated agent skills, and streamed responses, and input hardening as a first-class concern. And it's part of our broader rollout alongside OpenAI and Anthropic integrations. But there's more. We now have the plugin and device SDKs. These are lightweight native connections to Zoom Workplace app. No custom client required. With the plugin SDK, your app can access rich in-meeting features and settings and control parts of the Zoom Workplace experience directly. And with the device SDK, peripherals can pair with Zoom Workplace to take actions and receive real-time feature state updates. Think about cameras, stream decks, smart displays. And both are built with the next wave in mind: on-device AI agents that need controlled meeting access without taking over the whole system. And one more for builders working at the edge: ARM support for the Meeting SDK. The same SDK powering cloud integrations now runs natively on ARM hardware, embedding Zoom's raw media directly into cameras, switchers, display, or any Linux appliance with a fully featured and familiar SDK, seamlessly bringing your Linux integration to ARM. As the industry moves more towards ARM processing, this is an investment we wanted to make so that you have the tools available to meet the industry where it is in the future. And one quick plug here: I'm thrilled to share that the Zoom Developer Pack is now available online, self-serve. Full access to real-time media streams and quality of service subscription on sign-up with universal credits so you can experiment, prototype, and scale in one flexible plan. So that's the interface pillar. Now let's talk about how you get those experiences in front of people. We now move to the last pillar, distribution, which is about reach. Building a great app is only half the battle. Getting it discovered, deployed, and adopted is the other half. So first, your app can now appear as its own dedicated tab in the Zoom Workplace toolbar, right alongside meetings, chat, and phone. You're now a first-party citizen within the Zoom client. Your app isn't buried in a submenu or hidden behind a settings page. It's right there where users already are spending their time. Take BrightHire. They started as a startup building interview intelligence tools on our platform. Today, they're part of the Zoom family, and their experiences shows up right in client as a native tab. That's the journey we want to enable for every developer in this ecosystem, from building on Zoom to being a part of Zoom. Next, we have cross-app authentication with Okta, or XAA. We're automating the way folks can gain access to your application. With Okta XAA, your app can be automatically provisioned the moment a user logs in. Admin controls which apps deploy across their org, no manual installs, no friction. There's a deeper dive section on this later today. And we're investing Marketplace to round out the loop. We've unified the Marketplace across client and web into a single discovery surface for apps, agents, and integrations. We've expanded internal publishing so that you can create an internal company app catalog within the Zoom Marketplace. And we've introduced the App Manifest, a machine-readable definition of your entire app that you can validate, export, and update via REST, pipeline, or agent. Your listing can now be code. Together, these give you the management capabilities to ship faster and ship smarter. So that's where we are today. 3 pillars, all designed to open the platform wider than ever before. Core technology, the foundation to scale. Interfaces, the tools to build. And distribution, the reach to grow. And all of it's powered by the same idea, intelligence in motion, beyond the meeting. So, what you build matters. Every integration, every workflow, every intelligent experience you create, it reaches real people. It changes how they work, how they connect, and how they get things done. We don't take that for granted. And we don't take you for granted. This ecosystem exists because you showed up and built things we never imagined, and you pushed us to be better. And on that note, I want to take a moment to recognize some of the builders who exemplify this community is all about. This year, we announced the Zoom Developer Innovation Awards, celebrating the developers and partners who pushed our platform forward in extraordinary ways. Our winners for this year start with Vizrt for the most innovative new app, Help Lightning for best SDK integration, World ID for best real-time experience, and John Drinkwater and Mike Latta for best developer community contribution. Congratulations to you all. Now that's all for me today. Thank you for being here, for building with us, and for what you're about to build next. Now, let's keep the momentum going. I'll hand over to Tim to kick off our Fireside Chat.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this year's Developer Summit. 2026 feels like a distant past already almost, but it also feels like we just started doing the Dev Summit last week. And so thank you for coming yet again to another one. If this is your, if you're visiting us again, if it's your first time, thank you very much for being here. We're here today to talk to some of the developers that have developed on our platform and seen success in doing that, and have seen you know, not only the successes, but also, you know, some of the difficulties of developing in, you know, for customers and for shared customers. And so, you know, the ability for us to work together to kind of solve those shared customer goals. And we think we've done a pretty good job at doing that with these developers. So we wanted them to share their stories today. So I'll hand it over to Ryan, Amanda, and Kevin, maybe in that order. If you guys don't mind giving yourself a little introduction so people can know who you are.
Awesome. So my name is Ryan Hansberger. I am the VP of Technology, Platform, and Architecture at Vizrt. We are working on Vizrt Captivate and Vizrt Interactify along with Zoom. Really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'll go next. I'm Amanda. I'm the co-founder and COO at Recall.ai. We provide an API for developers to integrate with different conversation data, and I'm really excited to be here as well.
Hey folks, Kevin Klinsky, co-founder and CTO of Healthie. Healthie provides underlying infrastructure for outpatient healthcare, so electronic health record, patient engagement, scheduling for over 35,000 providers, and excited to be here as well.
Awesome, thank you very much. As you can tell, we're talking to a bunch of people that you're in very different spaces. And that's kind of one of the beauties of Zoom, is that we can kind of touch these varying different problems and help you guys solve them. So before we dig too deep into each one of those, I'd love to hear just a 30-second kind of pitch from all of you on what it is that you built with Zoom, what problems you're solving for your end users, just that little short elevator pitch, as it were. Kevin, do you want to go first?
Sure. So Healthie, as an electronic health record system, offering appointments and telehealth appointments is a core part of what we do. We do tens of millions a month. Zoom has been for years kind of one of those fundamental options that we offer to allow our medical providers to conduct those telehealth sessions. So it allows our providers to have one-on-one or group appointments with their patients in a secure and compliant way. And then more recently, we've really tapped into a lot of Zoom's real-time functionality to layer on additional AI options on top of our core telehealth experience.
I think that's going to start to be some of the theme here, is AI being layered in on top of these technologies. Amanda, I think you're a natural next summary, because you're touching a lot of that as we speak.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of what Recall does, so we provide an API for developers to access conversation data. This is the transcripts, recordings, metadata. We're used by over 3,000 companies, from large enterprises to really small startups. And essentially, we provide APIs that let companies access healthcare data or interview data, sales calls, team syncs. And historically, we've provided a couple of ways to get this data, such as a bot that joins the call or a desktop app recorder. But most recently, through a partnership with Zoom, we actually now also support RTMS, which lets our customers who are developers get access to Zoom data through a botless recording option without them needing to install the desktop app.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that is, again, it's kind of the idea of direct integration versus kind of like utilizing and providing another pathway for developers to use. Ryan, certainly not least, but please, I'd love to hear about your integration.
Yeah, so with Vizrt Captivate, what we're looking to do is transform Zoom Room experiences, bringing our experience and background in broadcast and live production video to the Zoom Room. So bringing that Zoom Room environment, adding AI keying, adding virtual spaces, maybe AR elements inside the space using camera recognition, spatial awareness, no green screen. Take that Zoom Room environment and bring it up to a broadcast level very easily, and all done through the native Zoom app. So easy controls, simplified user interface, not needing a technical director. You don't need to spin up another studio. Ideally, the person that runs your Zoom room or runs the Zoom room for the corporate office would be able to run this and transform that space into broadcast quality virtual studio.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of I love how you ended there, Ryan, because I think that's kind of the idea of what Zoom is trying to accomplish, right? Is really taking these really complex ideas. You take a studio quality video experience, and that has traditionally been very difficult to kind of manage, and you have to have very specialized skills, and you're starting to kind of remove that barrier. And I think that's a lot of what Zoom is trying to accomplish. And so, as a result, I think everyone has, as they're going through kind of selecting what technologies they use and what providers they use, they have that kind of like, why Zoom moment. I'd love to hear more from you all on like what that moment was for you all. So does anyone want to go first and give a first stab at what their why Zoom moment was?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump into it. So I think for us, the thing that really was that aha moment for us, like we've been partnering with Zoom with some of their broadcast technologies in the past, and it's always been very native, very smooth, seamless experience for us. Whenever we moved into evaluating how to bring Zoom rooms into that merge between broadcast enterprise and bring those closer together, the SDK implementation and the ability for us to leverage like your own ZRC, not having to bring external kit and put it out there and complicate the environment, that was a little bit of the aha moment for us. Like whenever we got to that point, we realized we can bring a solution and offering, partnering with Zoom that feels like just a small extension to an already familiar Zoom environment for the end user or for the customer that's in that environment or in that space, while bringing that enhancement. So only a very minimal disruption to the user's current growth flow. And that was really the big push. Whenever we got to that spot, we all kind of lit up in the room. We were like, okay, there's something really special here. We can start moving very quickly and have minimal impact in the customer base, which is, you know, the best case scenario like you can only dream of, which is amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Amanda, I saw you unmute.
Yeah, I wanted to also share what was our why Zoom moment, but my perspective is actually more so from the developer platform side. One thing, so we also serve developers that want to integrate with different platforms. And one thing we realized is our customers who are developers, they really care about optionality. We've been in the meeting recording space for a couple of years, and we had, you know, the spot recorder, we had a desktop recorder, SDK, but we recently started hearing from enterprises who wanted to build internal tooling to capture their own conversations, that they wanted a botless way to record that data. And Zoom was the first platform that offered APIs to get this data through a botless form factor. So Zoom's developer platform has been really flexible, and that's been one of our biggest like why Zoom moments. It's just been extremely developer friendly.
Kevin, did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall our wow moment with Zoom has been that Zoom has had the features we've needed when we've needed them. And that when we started offering group appointments, Zoom did a great job there, right? When we needed our customers requesting things like virtual backgrounds or waiting rooms or complex meeting settings, Zoom did a great job there. And even now more recently, when we wanted to start doing a lot of things with real-time transcripts and taking actions based on that. And Zoom's RTMS product has been great there. So less so than one specific thing, but overall, I think it's such a mature and broad platform that it's really helped us out in a lot of ways over the years.
Yeah, and I think that's you speak to one of our core tenets, which is I always say we don't want to be a line item on a spreadsheet somewhere, on some vendor spreadsheet somewhere. We want to be considered a technology partner that's like walking alongside of you instead of behind or in front of you. And like that's kind of, I think you're speaking to that mentality of like we're building with you, not building without you, if that makes sense. So I'd be remiss if in this new world I didn't say the letters A followed by an I and talk about some of those things. And so we've had these moments for a long time. I think we've known that AI is going to be a thing, but we're kind of in this moment where we're moving really quickly. And one of the things that we're seeing now is that the idea of real-time AI services is like a possibility where it wasn't before, right? It was all kind of like batching and post-processing. Now that we have this real-time ability, you know, Amanda and Kevin, I know that you all are touching on this very actively. And so I'd love to hear from the both of you kind of like, what are the real-time items that you are that you're touching on now, and what problems are you solving that you couldn't solve before now that you have the ability to do this kind of real-time AI services?
That's a great question. And from our perspective, so we provide this real-time data to our customers. So I'll share what we are seeing them build, because I think that's the really exciting part. A couple years ago, I think most people saw conversation data, meeting data as more of an ad hoc use case, as in generating notes after a call. But right now we're seeing this shift to real-time use cases by getting the real-time data. So for example, in the sales space, we see companies in the sales space building real-time battle cards for sales reps. Or for example, deep fake detection, which is a new use case that's coming up, but detecting in real time if somebody on a call is a deep fake. Also, for example, streaming the real-time video and audio into a web page for user research use cases for building observer rooms. So we're just seeing so many new real-time use cases that weren't possible before because LLMs are good enough to analyze this data in low enough latency while still keeping high quality. So it really feels like the next frontier is adding value during a meeting instead of just post-meeting.
Yeah, and definitely echo what Amanda said there. The first AI product we brought to market worked off of transcripts that were generated off of recordings. And by the time we processed the recording and had a transcript, that could be minutes up to 10 minutes after the session ended. And the largest feedback we got from customers, and it basically made the thing unlaunchable, was, hey, the delay is way too long. So initially, we were very, very excited about RTMS because that allowed us to start working on the transcript during the session and then immediately after to generate the note. But I think what's been incredibly exciting since then is the fact that given that we're getting the transcript in real time, we're able to, as Amanda mentioned, really interact and help the provider out and really act as a co-pilot while they're in the session with their patient. So that's been amazing and very, very excited about that.
These are really, really great insights. Brian, Kevin, Amanda, we're living in this new world that I don't think a lot of people fully understand yet. I think there's going to be a moment where we, a year from now, 2 years from now, we're going to look back at this and we're going to be like, boy, we had no idea what we were doing back then, right? Like there's going to be this moment where we're like, wow, we were wrong in some way. We assumed something the wrong way. And I think the beauty of kind of the relationship that Zoom has built with all of you and that we want to build with all of our developers is that we want to be along that journey with you, right? And I think that's what we're hearing in this session today. If I can sum it up into one kind of one little footnote is, we're building with you, we're understanding kind of what your customers needs, but we're making it easier at the same time. I think there's a lot of platforms out there today that make the difficult, if that makes sense. And our goal is to make the difficult easy. And, Ryan, I think you say that the best, which is you're saving cost. You're making it so that you don't have to hire additional people. You're obfuscating the difficulty. And that's really the outcome that we want. And so I really appreciate the three of you coming to share with us today. I think I've really enjoyed this conversation with you. And I'm really looking forward to building more with you as we kind of continue growing our collective, individual and collective relationships with each other. So thank you very much for being on the call with us today. And I really appreciate the time as I'm sure it's limited for you all. So thank you very much. And we'll see you again next year.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this year's Developer Summit. My name is Gianni Latange. I'm a lead developer advocate here at Zoom, and I'm super excited for you all to jump into today's sessions. We have a wonderful lineup, including a number of external speakers from Canary Speech, Tools for Humanity, Okta, and Render. So please find the 3 tracks available, join them, have a great time, ask some questions, and don't forget to join us for our networking hour at the end of all of the sessions at 12 p.m. Pacific time. We can't wait to see you. Enjoy yourselves.